It's a blizzard day and all my plans got canceled, so welcome to another edition of Things You Might Not Know About Me Unless I Told You. I was born in the beautiful state of Minnesota and I spent 24 years of my life there. And even though I love New York City, Minnesota will always be my home. To my family, New York is like big and scary and dangerous. I'm the middle child. I have an older sister who's a year older, and then I have a younger brother who's 6 years younger. My older sister is married with 2 kids, and then my little brother has been dating his partner David for a very long time. So I'm the only single one. Yeah. When I was 17, I was Miss Minnesota Teen USA, and I went to compete at Miss Teen USA for scholarship money. And then again, when I was 21, I became Miss Minnesota USA, and I competed at Miss USA for scholarship money. And it's how I paid for my school. I never ended up winning Miss Teen USA or Miss USA. Didn't even make it to the final round in Miss Teen USA, but I made it to the semifinals in Miss USA. Which is just proof to me that, like, if there's a bigger plan, you might lose and it might feel like garbage in the meantime, but like there's bigger for you. Don't sweat the losses. Because I've lived like a million different lives, I've also had like a million different jobs. It was a requirement in my family to start working at the age of 16. So my first job, of course, I worked in retail, then I worked in retail again, and then in college, I worked in the hospital, I worked in the surgical ward, and I also worked volunteer work at a clinic. After college, I worked in an immunology lab where I was basically just like a lab rat running around making close to minimum wage. And then after that, I became a bridal consultant where I was making $8 an hour, but I got to help girls find their wedding dresses, which was one of the coolest things in the world. So I worked there for a couple years until I was scouted for modeling. And then that's what brought me here to New York. Otherwise, I probably would have stayed in Minnesota pretty much my entire life. I hated being a model. I hated it so much. I hated it with every ounce of my being. I literally lost my mind when I was a model, and I fell back into ED. Things. And so I eventually had to quit because it was really, really bad for my mental health. And that's when I started posting on social media because I just wanted to be free from the prison that was modeling. And I wanted to actually feel like people knew me for my personality instead of just like the human meat bag that I wear every day. I don't know. It just felt so weird to have everyone look at you and see your job as your appearance and not who you are, not your brain, not your personality, not anything specific about you. Just like, you are your human meat bag, and that's the only value you have. I just didn't like that. I grew up on a dirt road in like the middle of nowhere, so I didn't have any like neighborhood friends. It was just me and my sister and my brother. A lot of the time as a kid, I just sat around and like was in my head and thought and imagined things. So I did a lot of skits for my parents or sketches or little like plays, and I'd make them watch me. So it's funny that I do this now because it's literally what I did as a kid. I don't like working out. I don't like yoga. I don't like Pilates. I don't like anything. I should like it. It's good for you. I know it's good for you, but I just love sitting on my couch and like rotting. I also hate eating healthy. It's just, and I know that this sounds very, very pick me, but if you go to one of my old videos, I could do it now and pull up my DoorDash orders. It's like mostly Cinnabon. I'm cringing at the fact that people are going to think I'm a pick me for this, so I'm literally just going to show you. But Cinnabon, Tyvilla, Cinnabon, Tyvilla, McDonald's, Tyvilla. The way I eat is definitely gonna knock like a few years off of my life, but it's fine because I'll be a raisin anyways. And I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. Sometimes I'll be scrolling and I will see a video about me, and that's always a weird thing. But then it will be about my career and how I got here, and there will be all these people talking about how I'm an industry plan or I'm this or I'm that. And I am as confused as you guys as to how this is my life. Truly, 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 like person to person. I don't know how I got here either. I have never shown my mom in my content. She is a very private person. She doesn't care about the internet. She doesn't care about money. She doesn't care about followers. She doesn't care about any of this kind of stuff. I will never show her in my content. But just know she is truly the greatest person I've ever met in my entire life. And if I am half the woman that she is, I will have lived successfully. But it works out great because I have a really close relationship with my stepmom as well. My mom and my stepmom are both 2 of my best friends, and my stepmom is amazing. And so I use her in content as my mom because she is my mom. She's just my bonus mom, which is sick that I get to have 2 moms. My parents don't have money. I don't know where that came from and why it circulates on the internet, but like, they don't. I keep my friend circle really small, and I've had the same best friend since kindergarten. She's literally sitting out there at my table right now playing video games. Okay, this is already too long. Thanks for watching. I love you guys.